Take care, Jason. My sister is different now. She will not listen to reason like I do. Athena surely acts through you. She's chosen one better than I to bring peace again to Kithra.
Hall of Philosophers. Let all who speak within do so in the pursuit of wisdom and justice. Let speech come from the heart, and debate come from the head.
Which head?
Another useful piece of advice. Let the learned speak. Let the wise listen.
I hear people ahead.
It sounds like a debate.
My fellow philosophers, the Golden Fleece was an abomination. It had no place in this world. Its theft, criminal though it may be, will serve the greater good in the end. This I promise you, or my name is not Phaedon!
You speak falsely. No crime can serve the public good.
Can it not? And shall we take a nameless stranger's word on that?
My name is Jason, and I say your speech is false.
Then we must debate, sir. That is, if you have the credentials to speak before such an august company.
Hear, hear!
Our custom demands that all who speak in this assembly first demonstrate a modicum of knowledge of the subject at hand.
Let there be questions, and let him offer answers.
Certainly you would have no objection to establishing your familiarity with the history of the fleas. For example, a most rudimentary question. Who created the Golden Fleece?
What's the answer, Pan?
The Titan Epimetheus.
The Titan Epimetheus fashioned the golden ram whose hide became the fleece.
Correct!
If you speak by proxy, sir, Why not simply remove yourself as intermediary and let me speak to the satyr directly? Otherwise, I think we've heard enough from your horned and hirsute companion. Shall we continue? Here's a question any acolyte would be expected to answer. What two gifts did Prometheus grant unto man?
An upright form in the image of the gods.
And the other?
His second gift was the ability to use tools.
If ignorance is bliss, behold a happy man.
Phaedon, he cannot test you!
Sacred fire and an upright form in the image of the gods. That, sir, is the correct answer. Dare we even continue? I suppose we've come this far. What's one last question? Tell us, who killed the golden ram?
It was man who slew the golden ram.
Indeed it was!
An excellent response.
A seed of truth. But does it lie on fertile ground, or cling in vain to rocky perches? You seem to possess a rudimentary understanding of the fleece's history. Very well. If nothing else, I'll help expand your education. Charity is a virtue, too.
Phaedon, set the bounds of this discussion.
The thesis! The Golden Fleece is an abomination and has no place in the mortal world. The proponent, Phaedon, a humble servant of this temple and its high priestess. The opposition, Jason, an itinerant traveler from parts unknown.
Argument the first.
The fleece is an abomination. Was not he who created it, the Titan Epimetheus, cast down into Tartarus by Zeus for doing so? Clearly, the Lord of Olympus judged the act of creation to be evil and worthy of damnation. Can we not then infer that the product of that act is also evil and worthy of damnation?
A persuasive argument.
And yet a flawed one. Epimetheus' proud defiance of the command of Zeus was the cause of his undoing. How he defied that command is immaterial. His failing was due to a lack of humility. His pride drove him to create the golden ram in foolish competition with his brother. For that he was cast down by Zeus. Not for what he created, but for why.
Yes, your argument is sound. You have my support, sir.
Pure sophistry. A clumsy argument to snare the feeble-minded. We continue.
Argument the second.
The fleece circumvents the will of the gods and the natural order. The immortal gods look down from mighty Olympus and wish such and such to be. And then Cleophas, the half-wit goatherd, uses the fleece and makes such and such not so.
I say we just kill him.
No mortal should have the power to countermand the divine scheme of life, death, and afterlife. I, for one, believe the will of the gods should be inviolate to the whims and caprices of imperfect minds.
A devout argument indeed.
Devout? I say a cold and cynical one. What of men who honor the gods? What of men inspired by the gods? Does my opponent deny that through man the gods can enact their justice? Your low opinion of our kind is unfortunate. But even more troubling is your low opinion of the gods. Surely those whose minds are perfect can foresee all outcomes, fleece or not, and ensure a just outcome.
Indeed, a stirring rebuttal. You have my support, sir.
An untenable retort! The standards of philosophy here are lacking. We continue.
Argument the third.
Verily, the Golden Fleece brings out the worst in men. Wars have been waged for its possession. Brother has killed brother to claim its power. Its very presence on Kithra endangers the people of this island. Woe unto he who sleeps upon a bed of gold, for light is his slumber and his trepidation constant. Greece is undoubtedly a more peaceful place without the fleece in it.
Insightful words, truly.
That ugly woman sure can't talk.
Do not fool yourself in thinking that a decrease of temptation ensures an increase of peace. Men will fight. They always do. If not for the fleece, then for power. If not for power, then for land. If not for land, then for gold. It's a flawed world, and we are its flawed inhabitants. It takes conviction to do what's right in such a world. It takes courage. That's how we prove the good in us. Take away the fleece and we are not suddenly made more virtuous. That's an argument made of vapor.
Your words soar upon the lofty wings of wisdom. I cast my lot with you, sir.
Vapor! Huh. Let us move to the closing arguments. Good sirs, I appeal to the most discriminating sagacity of this assemblage. The fleece is an abomination, a singularity, and singularities are dangerous things. It has the power to conquer nations, the power to raise the living from the dead, and yet it has no conscience. It gives its power indiscriminately to any who can claim it, whether by brutish strength or cunning guile. Why do we risk such calamity? And for what? All that good men should reasonably do, they can accomplish without the fleece. We are better off without it, say I.
I am a simple man. And simple men are best equipped to deal with simple truths. I am not one for ostentatious pedantry or spurious erudition. I will leave that to my opponent. What I do know is this. The fleece is neither good nor evil. It does not decide its purpose any more than does my sword. The only thing certain in this life is we all are to leave it eventually. The fleece may delay that moment, but it cannot remove it. We men are transient things. The fleece does not change that. As such, how can the fleece be an abomination? It does not alter our fundamental nature. We are taught that the Titan Epimetheus made the golden fleece. But why did he make it? To rival the glory of man. Is the fleece a risk in evil hands? Yes, but in good hands, it keeps us humble. For there is nothing we can do that it cannot undo. Used with prudence, the fleece encourages discipline and imparts wisdom, ensures justice, inspires courage. I hope all here would agree that these virtues most certainly have a place in this world.
Brilliant! We hear Athena's wisdom.
Hear, hear!
Well spoken, Jason. Truly, you are a man of many talents.
Someone fetch a laurel crown!
You can't all be persuaded by this chicanery!
Wonderfully said, sir!
Bah! It was too much to think this self-important rabble could comprehend simple truths. You, sir, are the most dangerous kind of agitator. And there's only one way to reason with an agitator.
There is no debate or argument with evil such as this.
Silence, filthy thing! I am the voice of this temple.
Well, well, would you look at that? You are a black tongue!
What? Not that it matters now. My work here is done. That slut Medusa was easy work. And her brother proved a coward.
No!
The fleece left Kithra in the Raven's clutch. The Black Tongues have it now.
You fiend!
Where is it? Where is the fleece? You will tell me!
It is where you cannot find it. Where you cannot even search. This sword, it once belonged to a priest of Hades. We had a debate, he and I. We argued over who was the rightful ruler of Tartarus. He claimed Hades, while I know it to be Hecate. Despite my flawless reasoning, he simply refused to acknowledge the truth. It is a fine blade, is it not? When words fail,
saved us back there. Praise Athena! Your wisdom pierced through Phaedon's lies.
I can't believe we let a black tongue take control of Athena's temple. We must atone. We philosophers failed Kithra when she needed our wisdom the most. We must re-examine our entire system of beliefs to see where we fell short.
Your arguments about the importance of the fleece were persuasive. I have committed them to memory and will see that all our members study them. We owe you our lives. If not for you, we too would have suffered the terrible fate of Phaedon's supporters. Thank you, Jason. I'm ashamed to say I once sat in that hall and shouted praise to Phaedon.
It seems Phaedon fooled many people on this island.
Indeed. He had a way of being persuasive, but he had no answer to your argument. It was an honor to hear you speak. Where did you learn to orate in such a manner?
My father was a great king. I would often listen to him speak with visiting emissaries. He told me once that persuasion is worth 1,000 spears.
I see where you get your wisdom from. If we are to rebuild this place, we will need men like you and your father, I think. Thank you again, Jason.
Only one remains. Of all my people, Medusa is most responsible for the events that occurred. She has had time and opportunity to reflect upon what she's done. But you must decide her final fate.